Next inhale, you're going to reach the fingertips a little bit more forward on the floor. Feel into elongating the spine. And next exhale, you're going to think of releasing the hips closer into the heels. And then resting the belly on the bolster, feeling the belly supported. Feeling the weight of the torso, of the chest, and of the belly, and of the head on the bolster. Just allowing the ground, the earth, to support the body. Remembering that you are of the earth. Just as much here as the trees are, using the ground for support. So your main goal in this pose is to melt the body into the ground, melt the body into the bolster. Resting the face, softening the skin of the forehead. Softening the eyelids. Softening the lower jaw, unhinging the lower jaw, maybe swallow. Relax the jaw with the swallowing. Then allow that softness from the jaw to travel all the way down your throat. And then let that softness spread into the chest, into the core, down into the belly. Relaxing the hip flexors. Noticing if you're holding on to any tension in the right hip flexor. And then checking in with the left hip flexor. Then releasing the calves. Noticing if you're holding on to anything in the calves. Softening the tissue slowly. Letting the toes rest into the ground. Release the toes. No tension in the feet. Maybe noticing that you need to switch the side. Bring the other ear to the bolster. Check in with the neck. How is my neck feeling? Maybe something's coming up within the mind or within the body. Just noticing as it's coming up. Being present with it. Being the observer. Just allowing to feel deeply into the body. And if you're noticing, okay, my legs, my feet are feeling something, I'm ready to come out of the pose. We're going to gently slide into a puppy pose. So we'll start walking the palms a little closer towards the knees, coming up off the bolster. Going to bring the knees a little closer towards each other. Then stacking the hips just above the knees. You can start walking the palms forward. Here we're keeping the butt right above the knees and the head is going to come down. If the head is not touching the floor, then you can bring again the bolster in front of you. And have the bolster support your head. If the head is on the ground, then maybe you feel into bringing the chin towards the floor and opening through the front of the chest, through the armpits. We're not here for a long time. So feeling into the opening in the chest and the armpits, through the thoracic spine. Coming back to your breath. As you inhale, you notice the inhale. As you exhale, you notice the exhale. Again, I'm just here as a guide. Your body is the ultimate guide for you. So every moment I invite you to be present with what's happening in the body and not staying in the pose when the body says, come out, this is enough. So here's another invitation. You can stay here if this is good. Or you can start walking the palms back towards the knees, placing the left palm just right underneath the face, opening through the right. So the right palm is reaching towards the ceiling, feeling into the spine. What do I feel here? Opening the right chest. And then exhale, threading that right arm underneath the left armpit, right shoulder all the way down. And then if you're lucky, you're ending up with that shoulder right on the edge of the comfy blankie. So again, the hips are staying over the knees here. This is good, you stay here. If you want a bit more of a twist, left palm is going to come up towards the ceiling. I'm going to turn the palm back and rest the left palm either in the sacrum of the back. We're going to reach for the right hip crease. Try to tuck that left palm into the right hip crease, which will allow you to open that left shoulder a bit more. Then release the head into the ground. No neck tension here. Releasing the head, releasing the neck. Really allowing yourself to melt down. And if this is enough on this side, you're going to untangle that left arm if it was in the right hip crease. Bring the left palm to the ground, just under the left shoulder. Start pressing into the left palm, super slowly, dragging that right shoulder up. And then right palm is right underneath the face. Left palm opens, reaching those left fingertips for the ceiling. Exhale, thread it under the right armpit this time, so left shoulder down, maybe on the blanket. Twisting from the upper part of the spine. Release the head all the way into the floor. Relax the neck, relax the lower jaw. Release the tension from the shoulders. Maybe the right palm comes up towards the ceiling. Turn it around. Rest the back of the right palm at the sacrum. Or go for the left hip crease with your right fingertips. Roll that right shoulder back behind you. Keep opening through the chest. Big exhale through the mouth. Release the head with the exhale. Just let it go. No need to support the head here at all. Just keeping engaged the muscles that are keeping the posture up. Everything else can melt away. This is enough. Untangling that right palm, bringing the right palm back towards the floor underneath the right shoulder, dragging that left shoulder back up. And you're gonna bring the knees together and then step your right foot forward. You're gonna come into a low lunge. So again, your left knee is ending up on the blanket for support. Then you're going to rock forward, allow that left front hip flexor to open up. So options here, depending on how you're feeling, either palms down to the floor, maybe palms are on the blocks. The blocks have so many variations here for you. There's height number 1, height number 2, height number 3. If you're up here, you're opening the chest, rolling the shoulders back. And then see if you want to send the pelvis forward and feel into what the left hip flexor is doing here in the front. Maybe if you're feeling a lot there, maybe you bring the left palm towards the hip flexor. Maybe palms are resting on the knee. Maybe you're opening up through the chest if the body needs that. Maybe a tiny back bend, looking back. Whatever the body is requiring here. And then exhaling, we're gonna send the hips back. Come onto your right heel. Feel into the right hamstring here. So maybe you're up here. Maybe you're using the bolsters again to support yourself. Maybe you're sitting all the way back, feeling into the hamstring, right toes are looking at your face. And then when this is enough, rocking forward one more time. You're gonna keep one block on your left side. If you need to, left palm is gonna come onto the block or maybe on the floor. You're gonna open up through the right palm. 5 breaths here, reaching for the ceiling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You stay here, or as an option, you can start bending that left knee. Don't need to do this as an option. You can grab the foot, feel into that left quad, getting some space. And if you're done with that quad, you can release. Bring the right palm down. Come on to the left toes, slowly. And then super powerful plank. You're going to engage the core, bring the belly button into the spine. Activate the right leg, sweep it back into plank. Bring the left foot forward now between the palms. So high lunge for a moment. And then when you're ready, releasing that right knee down. And again, blocks are your friends. So picking your friends, picking what height today, right now. Just like we pick friends for seasons of life. And maybe making this a bit dynamic, feeling into the right hip flexor extension, feeling into the compression on the left. And then if you're ready, maybe sending the hips back, coming onto the left heel, left toes looking at your face, feeling into the left hamstring. Maybe you sit all the way back, feel into what you need. Shoulder away from the right ear, creating space in the side neck. 2, 3, 4, 5. You can go for that right foot back behind you if you want to. Everything's an invitation. You don't need to do anything at all. Just stay in Shavasana for the whole class if you wanted to. Exhale, left palm down. Get rid of that block. Again, we're going to step into a powerful plank. So tucking the back toe, lifting the right knee, activating the core, so belly button into the spine, and then with that, stepping back with that strength. Come down with the knees down. Keep the toes tucked. We're going to send the hips back towards the heels. So you're going to end up sitting on your heels. You're going to stretch the feet. So the palms can come onto the thighs, eyes can close. If this is too much, then you're staying off the heels. With time, you'll feel what's appropriate. Sometimes the little baby toes are misbehaving the most, so you can just tuck them. Give them some help. Palms up, receiving through the palms, tucking the chin. The spine is still tall here, dropping the shoulders down away from the ears. Connecting to the breath one more time. Inhaling, paying attention to the inhale. Exhaling, paying attention to the exhale. Feeling sensations in the feet, bring the mind into those sensations, and we're going to build a little bit of a skill of resilience, staying with the discomfort, noticing it, learning not to identify with the discomfort, staying as the observer, just watching what's happening in the body. And then when you're like, okay, what the hell, this is enough, you can start walking the palms forward, and then we're going to wake up the mice in the basement. Yeah. The garage together, the basement. So wake them up, feel into the feet. And then when you're ready, we're going to come into the first downward dog. If you want to, you can come into child's pose again as an option instead. So the first one, we're going to keep the knees bent a lot. Send the chest towards the knees. Pedal out the heels one at a time. Feel into the hamstrings. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Lots of space in the side neck. Maybe keep pedaling the heels one at a time. Stay connected with the breath. Spread the fingers super wide. Give yourself that space. Press into the index finger into the thumb to release the pressure from the wrist, especially if you have wrist issues. And then here's another option. You're gonna start lifting that right heel towards the ceiling, bending the right knee, trying to touch your left butt with the right heel, opening the hip. And then maybe making circles in the air with the right knee. Keep pressing the chest into the left knee. Again, you can be in child's pose this whole time. This is, again, choose your own adventure. But if you're here, you're making circles with the right knee. Then from here, we're gonna go into a very supported restorative pigeon pose. So you're gonna start bringing that right knee towards the right wrist. If the bolster is nearby, you will bring it underneath that right glute. So lots of support here. So the most supportive pigeon pose is this heel close to the pelvis. The back toes are looking inwards, like pigeon toes. This is the pigeon pose, so pigeon toes. If you're not feeling anything in the right glute or in the right quads, then you can bring the leg parallel or more parallel. But if you're here, you can stay here for a while. And then again, you can choose. You can either open up through the chest, send the shoulders back, or walk into the sleeping pigeon and go for a little nap here. So you can stack the palms, one on top of the other, rest the forehead on top of the palms. Maybe the arms are walking out. You're opening through the chest here, through the shoulders, through the armpits. Maybe there's a block underneath your forehead if that's more comfortable. If you want a bit more, you can go for a twist here. So your left arm can slide underneath the right armpit. Left shoulder will come down. That will give you a bit more sensations if that's what you want now. And only staying in a pose for as long as you need to. Always coming out because you're listening to your own body. You're not staying in the pose because someone told you to do it. Remembering that you have the authority over your own body, over your own experience in life. So if you're ready, you can even switch for the other side, tucking the left toe. Going to transition through downward dog. So pedaling out the heels and then feeling into the difference between the left and the right hip here. And then if you're ready, left leg will come up straight up towards the ceiling. Bending that left knee, trying to touch your right glute with the left heel. Making circles with the left knee. So opening the hip in all directions. Maybe even feeling into the low back. Then when you're ready, left knee comes towards the left wrist. Again, using that bolster underneath the left glute this time. And again, finding where the leg needs to be. How close to the pelvis. Big exhale, release here. Maybe walking the palms forward. Maybe head down. Maybe going for that twist one more time, so right arm slides under the left armpit. whenever you're ready. You can stay here if you need some more time here. If you're ready to come out, let's transition through downward dog one more time. Feel again into the difference between the left and right hip. Maybe pedal out the heels one more time. And then when you're ready, walking the feet towards the palms. We're going to come down onto the knees one more time. Bring that bolster behind you. So we're gonna move into supported fish. We're gonna make sure the bolster is touching your bum. And you're gonna press into the edge of the bolster, lift yourself up, release on top of the bolster, open up through the arms. Later on, the option becomes opening through Baddha Konasana legs, so feet touching, knees opening. And the second option, if this is too soft for you, then you can bring the blocks into a T, 2 palms distance. And then the vertical block is right on your T-spine, and the horizontal block is supporting the skull. So this will be a bit more intense than a bolster experience. It will open up through the chest, through the shoulders a bit more effectively this way. And then you can start with the legs extended long. Make sure you're not touching any other props. Big release through the mouth. Relaxing the face. Soften through the forehead. Release the eyebrows. Feel into the space between the eyebrows. Just notice if there's any sensations there between the eyebrows. Maybe tingling, maybe pulsating, maybe nothing. Just notice nothing if nothing is happening. But don't look for anything, just take a note. And releasing the shoulders towards the floor. Letting the ground support you one more time. And then if you want to keep opening through the hips, you can bring the feet together. Open up through the knees. And then if the blocks are nearby, you can bring the blocks just underneath the hips to support the hips and the legs in opening. So we'll be here for quite some time, really allowing the body to melt. As you're listening to the sound, you're finding a space in your body where that sound is resonating. Just resting the mind in that space in the body. Melting the feet into the ground, releasing the toes, releasing the ankles. Maybe the palms can come onto the body if that's what you feel you need today. Maybe on top of the womb, maybe on top of the chest, the breasts, wherever the palms may land. Maybe just holding the ribs. Just enjoying your own company here, enjoying your own touch, your own presence. melt into the experience. landing on your left side. Right palm presses into the floor. Coming up super gently, not that far. Gonna use that bolster. Bring it underneath your knees. We're moving into Shavasana. So if the bolster's under the knees can lift, low back, and release more into the ground. Blanket as a blanket. If you're chilly. And then gently coming all the way down. If you notice you need something else here, maybe happy baby. You can come into happy baby for a few moments. Release the low back. And then whenever you're ready, melting into Shavasana. Another thing you can do is bring the bolster underneath the glutes, under the sacrum, and then release the legs. It's another option. And then just being with the sound, being with your own energy. Really just melting into your own soup of presence here. through the fingers, through the toes, whatever feels necessary here. Gently waking up the body. And as you get up out of Shavasana, you are getting up into this world as a new version of the woman that came to this retreat. A woman who is deeply connected to her heart and to her womb, her creative space. Someone who knows that she's in control of her emotional states. And she can choose to feel how she wants to feel. Anytime she decides that she's worthy of feeling good. Feeling good in her body, feeling good in her life. So as you roll onto your right side, keep the space on the left for the heart. Stay elevated. Maybe knees into chest. Maybe right bicep is still acting as a little pillow for the head. You're staying in this fetal position if that feels good here. Then bringing up to mind the qualities that you want to embody as you sit up. Just feeling what it feels like to be in your own power, to move in a relaxed way through life. Coming up with a plan of how you're going to move in your life, having embodied all of these qualities of fluidity, creativity, femininity, and cognitive flexibility. If you're ready to close the practice, if that feels good, you can bring either palms to the heart, maybe palms connecting in Anjali Mudra in front of the heart space. Maybe thumbs to the space between the eyebrows. Bowing in reverence to your own divine being. And extending gratitude to yourself for choosing yourself. And coming here and spending time with us. And placing yourself first, placing your well-being first. Just having deep reverence for this life experience and everything that it contains. The polarities of being. From loss to joy, we can contain it all. And have the capacity to contain everything that arises within this experience, because you're ultimately just the awareness behind all of this happening. Coming up, coming down. Thank you. Then you open your eyes as this new woman that you want to be. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you for trusting us and for being here.